then, yeah, cause we can always redact it and stuff too.
I have given up on trying to raise this seat. It just will not stay up, so.
Yeah, when they bought these chairs,
I think we spent 116 to 150 bucks at Walmart distribution to get these chairs.
did you get them out of the dumpster?
I think so, wouldn't you? Where you go? You're 37 seconds late. We're gonna start docking your pay when you're over a minute late.
Is that 15 minutes or an hour?
All right.
The rate.
We do have everybody here. You guys ready
I
to
can talk about it, I've got stuff.
go to work?
We don't have no minutes today.
No, we won't probably till next month, once we get Mary back and in the office.
Did you see a picture of her leg?
I didn't, no.
Raymond's got some.
Raymond's out,
Raymond.
okay.
Well, I got, show him a picture of her leg.
I usually don't look at other women's legs.
This isn't pretty.
Okay, and pretty. I've probably seen a few other ugly things in my life.
This is plate, the
Vertically,
Oh, yeah.
not horizontally, vertically.
that's a bad one.
Let's do that.
Where's the guy?
Tripped on a sidewalk or something in front of her house.
Well, she's not suing the county, so.
Yeah, it wasn't in the city, was it? Maybe the city.
Yeah, she said in the city.
It was in the city. She got a new sidewalk.
Mark Casey there, man, his dad,
She lived.
he's got a replacement ankle.
Not far from the waterworks.
She live out there on Highland, don't she? Is it Sherman?
It's somewhere northeast, right off of,
I wanna say Stevens?
It's up on Stevens, up on the hill a little bit. Just kinda on the slope before it gets up.
And they're blind.
Okay. All right, it is 3 minutes past the hour. We do have all 5 members present. That's our surveyor and his trusty sidekick, Raymond, are you acting as our secretary today?
No.
We are just recording this, and Mary will have that to follow up on that. We will call the Grant County Drainage Board to order the 25th here of April. And again, we're at 11:03 a.m. is our start time. We do not have minutes this morning because Mary is out because of injury and surgery. So she will be out for at least a couple, 3 weeks. We'll go to bill payment, and Jim, walk us through those, please.
We've got thousands of dollars worth of work out there being done right now. I just want to let you guys know that we've been pretty busy. They'll be coming in. Chronicle Tribune, $19.80 on the Milner Moon Vacation, $26,860 in the fund. Morlock Wildlife Control, $600. That's for the beaver out on the Lomax ditch. And I've called Sullivan's for him to come and get the dams and haul them off with the dump truck. There's $37,665. Me and Raymond walked it with him, and there's probably a few stragglers that he didn't give, but he thought that he got them, and I would have swore there was more than 3 back there, you know.
Did you trap them in the pond too, or was it just in the creek?
Just in the creek. There's one big lodge out in the pond, and I actually talked to the manager of the department store and told him, but he doesn't use a kayak to get to anything. Waders, and there wasn't no way you could get to that one, so.
So they didn't get them all.
Well, he says he thinks he did, so
Does he
we'll
get
see.
does he get how many warning?
He plans on coming back if there's more beavers.
Because the
And
one
charges
guy
them.
we had, I don't know that worked down Grassy Fork.
We're
You
paying
paying
for-
by per beaver?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so we aren't out a whole lot.
We're paying for the ditch, but the actual pond isn't ours.
Right.
But the beavers are gonna go back.
Who's on the
Yeah.
pond?
I think the pond is actually owned by the Housing Association,
And then Myers owns some of it.
do they? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I talked to their manager, told him if you see him back here, he's not trespassing, he's trying to get these beavers.
Okay.
But anyway, Boone County makes him cut off the tail and show him the tail. I told him a picture is gonna be good enough for us. I don't want,
guys all want a souvenir.
I don't want the tail. I know you can take more than, you can take that, then put him in a different pose, take another picture of the beaver, but I think he's an honest guy, so we're gonna have to go with it, he's been in the business a long time. But anyway, the next one is Bragg Excavating, $6,258 on Big Black Creek. There's $195,000 in the fund. This was clearing and stream improvements on the Turner property. And then Cook Excavating's been busy out on Big Pipe Creek, log jams. There's a breakdown of all these bills. But Raymond put all this together for me this morning or yesterday?
The total today.
Today. Thanks, appreciate it. Pipe Creek, Richland Township, Section 28, 900 west of county line, $1,275. Richland Township, Section 36, $2,550. Richland Township, Section 25, $1,530. Pleasant Township, Section 30, $2,040. Pleasant Township, Section 29, $1,275. Pleasant, Section 32, $765. Pleasant, Section 30, $1,020. And then also Pleasant, Section 30, $765.
Who's this, Cook?
Yeah, there's a total of $159,390 in the fund. So this is all log jam removal for spring.
State Road 18 to the county line, basically.
325 north to 250 north was that last one. So that's the bills we got today.
Did we have anybody that needed to abstain on any of those?
Kenny probably got a little in it, on a ditch or two. Now, he's got, on these claims, he's got them broke down. I want the farmer's name, like Newhouse Farm, 3 medium jams in woods, 5 hours excavator, $1,275. So I've asked, I want to know the farm he's on.
Okay.
He's got it on the bills, I just didn't put it on the summary.
Yeah. Because normally I'll read Brad Needler, creating small log jams, 1 large log jam, $1,020.
Any questions on any of those bills? We already talked enough about beavers.
Who we pay these claims is presented.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Cox, second, Mr. Goff. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I think everybody said aye. All right, we are unanimous. What we got next on your agenda there, Jim?
You want to do the public hearing now?
We can go ahead and do Milner Moon. We've got some spray quotes too coming up, don't we?
Okay, we'll do them last.
All right, we're going to move to the Milner Moon vacation. It's been requested. We're having a public hearing. We will open up the public hearing shortly. We'll have our surveyor to give us a brief history of what's going on, and if anyone wants to speak, we'll speak to that issue and then make a
Just
decision.
share with Jim if you could, Jordan.
So, Jim, if you'll just give us the history again on what we're asking.
The orange one.
A lot of this has been rerouted and reworked, and it drains very little now. It was 320 in the watershed. The chunk of money that's in there right now, I don't see that in front of me.
It's
6,000 some.
roughly, yeah, where was?
But I know Gordon and Mary went down and talked to the,
Milner moves total.
okay, there is $26,860.16, and then you're taking off $19.80 for the Chronicle Tribune. But Mary and Gordon did go down and talk to the auditor, and she did say that she can give a refund on this. I did have an email from Kyle the other day, said he had some ideas about it, but I didn't get back with him, so.
I think as long as the auditor is clear and we have the legal right to return funds to the people that paid into it, I think we're good, so.
But she says they are okay on a refund, that's different than a reimbursement.
Yes.
You know, so they could, and Mary had the percentages all figured up and how much to give everybody back, you know.
It was right there on the right-hand side of the very right column, shows how much each percentage was.
Is that less the big spend on the advertisement?
Mhm.
Okay.
Gordon could probably answer this. Is there any reason that they'll ever need any money for?
Well, no, because Comer's out on probably 90% of it. And I've got a little, Mark Hasty, who's got a little, and farms, and everybody's in favor. Comer will put a new outlet in, but it won't be in the middle of the moon. They can downsize it.
But you can still hook on to it.
Pardon?
You can still hook on to it if you wanna do more.
I've already done mine.
Okay.
And Jim Comer early on did his. So anything that's ruined, we've got an outlet we paid many years ago.
You rerouted yours, so it's off of the watershed, really.
Yeah, it's now not in Middle of Moon, it's in Big Deer. And
Shorter route.
Jim McComber did the same thing, so it was done before my did, so it's just a ditch that.
Okay.
Be my recommendation, we vacate it, no objections to it,
Right.
and work on this refund.
Yeah.
Okay. Questions for Jim before we open it up to the public hearing? Hearing none, we'll go to the public portion of the hearing. I think, Mark, you're the only one in the room. You want to say anything?
I don't have to, but I guess just for the record, I can. I'm in favor of what you guys have discussed here, that we get the money back to the property owners. So hopefully that can take place. It seems like it's been a little bit of a challenge getting to this point, but the bottom line is
We're here.
we're getting there, so,
Yeah.
so appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I don't know how soon we get the money, of course, we collect again this spring.
Yeah. So we'll have to actually issue a declaration from us again to pay whatever has been
And I don't know if we
received.
want to wait till the fall and know we got all the money in. I don't know, maybe that's not our worst worry, just get it back.
If you do it.
Yeah, because we collect this year,
Yeah, yeah, we couldn't get.
and it's already been built.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Is that paid in the spring installment or fall or both?
Both.
Both.
yeah.
Maybe they don't wanna do this till after fall, when all the money comes in.
Well,
As long as we got-
again, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and close public comment to this, and then we can go to our deliberation. But what we could do is make a motion that of all funds received in 2023, that we reimburse the property owners for what they paid. And that way, that covers the fall
We don't have to come
payment
back
as well.
and do it again.
That would be my recommendation.
I'll make a motion for whatever you need.
Kenny is just ready to make a motion.
He's in a hurry.
Whatever you need.
Whatever, I need a lot, I need a lot. I could be in
No, I
need.
mean, you gotta extend it into 23, and you're going back and pick up the previous balance before that.
Yeah, we can't actually stop the treasurer from the disbursements that she's required to send out.
It's
So,
already sent out.
yeah, so we just have to say, we will reimburse the landowners. Did I use the right term? No.
Refund.
Refund, and that's the term we want to use in the formal motion, is that we will refund all ditch assessments for the Milner Moon for 2023, and then we vacate it.
After fall collection.
Well, aren't you refunded the previous up until 23?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be everything that's in the
Yeah,
account.
yeah.
What's currently in there and what's coming in.
Yeah.
And with that motion, you're asking for the vacate, to affirm the vacation of that.
Yeah.
Is that perfectly clear as mud for everybody?
Yep.
We're good?
I can second is whatever you need.
So we've got Kenny, was there already a second to that, or?
No,
Okay, so we've got Kenny's motion, whatever we need, all inclusive. We kind of clarified that, and Pat's confirmed that with a second. Now you want to discuss that any further? I think we're ready to vote then. All those in favor of the vacation of the Milner Moon as advertised, and all of the current and 2023 balance be refunded to the landowners, you would say aye.
aye.
Aye. Those abstaining,
All right.
carried 4-1 abstention. And we have that completed.
I'm probably somebody gonna ask, when will we see the check? Do
Good
we
question.
wanna wait and send one check?
December-ish,
Uh,
December-ish.
Yeah, we won't see the payments until November 10th around
There it is.
that. Yeah, and they usually don't pay those out until we may see the actual money come in January.
We'll probably report to the drainage board, all the money's been paid, here's what the total is, you
Yeah.
guys vote for,
And we've already authorized it, we'll just say, pay it out.
might be a Christmas break.
It might be a Christmas present, but it will be coming. Cause I expect that's a one answer.
Yes.
We'll
Yeah,
ask
somebody will ask
want
probably.
that.
All right, we've got that done. What else do we need to do, Jim?
I'm working on this Webster tile, it's a 1917 tile, 10-inch for Joe McCoy that bought the old landscaping place out on Pennsylvania Avenue.
Okay.
The church has built a pond and the northern half has been re-diverted, so it's only, Raymond's been working on the acreage, it's only gonna be about 24.5 acres. So it's gonna be an expensive project, so I told him I would be getting back with him, and he's gonna be the #1 player, and depending on the roof, you know, his factory got turned down by area plan, but he's got a pavement and parking lot and roofs, and everybody else kinda has a water problem south of him and north. There's only one lot north of him that water's held back, but it's gonna be real expensive to fix it. You know, I mentioned, you know, digging into it at his expense and seeing what was what, you know, and he was reluctant to do that. But, you know, there's no money in our general fund to go out there and just start exploring, you know,
That's
without a
right.
maintenance fund.
So
And
this-
the other neighbors that met wasn't interested in a maintenance fund.
Webster Tile does not have a maintenance fund then, okay.
Not
So it
since
sounded like we weren't gonna do anything with it.
1917. I'm getting the paperwork and then it's gonna be up to them to, if they want to
Since
pursue
the
it.
factory got turned down, he don't want it now.
Okay. I just had one other thing. Make a matter for the records. Kenny had asked for this, to look at this plat. And this is the plat. Now, you know, Jason and Randall Miller, they said,
This is Hummel Creek.
yeah, Hummel Creek. You know, they sat through all these meetings and we talked about it over and over. Jason went to Indianapolis and you guys were there, and then in Huntington. And our legal easement ditch stopped about 100 feet southwest of the crossing, and that was repeated over and over. They had Rudy record this plat and made it a county ditch all the way down to the line, to the south property line. But see, I wrote end of county regulated ditch easement stopped right here. Southwest, no regulated drainage easement. Now, the water from that little dip right before you get to this lane, water comes from Mott's Farm and comes down through here. And, you know, the maintenance assessment, we would have put him all on if it's a county drain. He only has just a few acres east of where the easement drain stopped and it becomes the natural creek. So plat is recorded wrong. And I just heard that Mr. Ott's attorney came and visited April and tried to convince her to put the T number down for the new parcel. And I talked to April previous, and the key number needed to be the mother parcel that all went through court. But he just tried to get her to switch those numbers, so the court judgment tax amount would be on this little parcel here, that if he didn't pay it, he could give it back to us. That was the plan apparently. I just wanna make a matter of the record that the county ditch stops right here, it doesn't, this plat is wrong.
Yeah, okay. So he's still trying to negotiate and turn it into his favor, but we've got the court finding, and we're gonna rely on that court. Okay, we've got that read into the record.
And then Raymond had a couple things, and then we're done.
Now, what would be, would that been on his, tax this spring?
Yeah, he's got it.
Yeah, he received it.
Then wasn't he trying to find it or something?
Well, no, right before that happened, they did this and recorded that, thinking that key number is gonna be this little skinny parcel. If he don't pay it, the county can have the ditch right away.
Yep.
Or just a ditch channel, really, it's just a channel. And that's just that plat, I can guarantee you, there's no stakes out there, there's no angles on all those points. That survey cost a fortune.
Mm-hmm.
That's just in writing.
So again, I don't wanna go back to court again, but it's a game. The thing is, we should be seeing some of the ARPA money come back into our general drain improvement to help us, on some other projects, so hopefully that'll bolster us here in the future. Eventually, we'll get his 90,000.
But you notice that
No, we won't.
In theory.
they had Miller's employee do this plat and failed to tell him that the county drain didn't go all the way through.
Maybe
And them
it's
two
over
should have known, but you know, they don't listen as well as they talk.
That doesn't need to be on the record either.
I'm aggravated about the whole thing, it's
Yes,
went
sir.
way too long.
It has. All right, we've got a
Way
couple,
too high.
spent too much energy, too much money, and
Too much time.
it's, yeah. What you got, Raymond?
Chad Baker right away sent in these prices for the ditches for this year. And just need your approval for them. You and Pat, or Kenny and Pat, or
He said he would get that quote to us when he met with us last time, so this is, what we would expect to pay this year from the ditches, and which ditches we're gonna hit.
yeah.
In the amount of $42,855.65 total.
Is there money in each of these ditches?
Yeah.
Raymond's checked all that out and worked with him with the maps, and between the two of them, they know what's going on.
And this is something that we've been working on for quite some time as well, to get a steady spray program going in the county, so this would be the recommendation for the year, right?
This here's a good project. I mean, there's some of these next year we can skip.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, are you doing it
And go to
in a
others.
pattern or?
Others that need, we could probably.
Been leaving it up to him to determine if he thinks it's feasible or necessary to spray them. My analyzation is limited.
Because how many of these did you do last year?
Most of them.
I figured last year was about this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's Richard, but you can look at it.
In fact, there are a couple ditches that were sprayed that we went ahead and added back
Yeah,
on.
I have
Yeah.
Grassy Fork and Little Deer, or Little Creek and Little Deer. I wanted, I have another year, I can watch them and see what kind of kill we got.
Some of them he's doing.
Most of them are repeats.
Yeah.
There's 4 new ones. We added on Doyle Ferguson, they piped the creek over by the gravel pit. Part of Sweetser improvement, and one more.
It seemed like he said that it took 2 to 3 years
To get them under control.
to get him under control, so.
Doyle Ferguson, Sweetser improvement, Pipe Creek, and might be the only 3 new ones.
And that last one, that 913 feet, that's on my property. That area that got cleared a couple years ago, it's been sprayed. This will be the second time it's been sprayed.
Isaiah Wall is the other one that was added on over by Jerry Soltz's.
The Teasel plant's real bad right down there. That's what he's trying to kill.
All right, we've got our recommendation. It was promised to us for this meeting, and he should be ready to start in May or June, end of May or beginning of June.
Yes.
Need a motion on this?
We need to affirm to pay that, yeah?
I move we accept this list of drains to be sprayed for 2023 as presented.
Have a second on that?
Can I second these on in here?
Pat second.
I would pass on that second. I mean, you're benefiting from this action, so.
Yeah.
So does Kenny.
Okay, so it could be just 3 of us talking about it. We've got a motion with support. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those abstaining?
Aye.
All right, carried. Still majority, 3 to 2 abstentions. Very good.
One more time.
You've got one more.
And I got something real quick after he's done.
Whichever.
Go ahead.
Whenever you're ready, Mark. You
Go right
ready?
ahead. Is that the petition?
Yes,
Okay.
if you want. It's a, Todd Stoller, he lives in Ohio, he owns, roughly around 320 acres on the Sweetser improvement. And we started it in, I do believe, 2020, with COVID, and himself got hurt, slowed down Inyard construction, other things happened. We should be a year further along than what we are at the moment. So they're collecting an extra collection that
How much?
they weren't anticipating. We've got it dredged from here to here,
It's brushed and dredged.
from there to there. We still have this section to do.
And we've got it ready to send out for quotes real soon.
We've done from here to here. We still have this part to do.
So we're receiving a petition to reduce.
We've done this part.
Yeah, we raised it a few years ago so they could completely redo this system.
How many acres
in watershed?
This out there east of Marion?
It's up by Van Buren. Van Buren's up in the top left-hand corner of the
Okay,
picture.
yeah.
This is the
How many
Sweetser
acres in the
scenic road.
watershed?
1,450 roughly in the watershed.
Just for the board's benefit, when we went out to this head wall, this is a swampy woods on this side, so you'd have to set in the swamp and put your spoil in the swamp, and we can't do that. So we've gotta work on the farm side, and I don't know how these guys are gonna feel about tromping on their crops. We may all put it off to fall once they get a quote out, and I just don't know them. That down in here, where they,
The Todd Stoller's been very adamant about making sure that the drainage board was aware of the situation and that we need to lower the rate. But I also informed him we don't know how much it's gonna cost to do that last part. We need to get that bid out, figure out how much is left in the kitty. It can't be changed until spring's collection next year anyways.
yeah.
So he understands that, he just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of the situation. From my perception, it needs a rock chute at the top end. I'm not sure how we're gonna get stone in there. if the landowner doesn't give permission to go down a fence row, we've got to stay in the easement. If we got to stay in the easement,
You can't get there?
yeah.
It's a quarter mile just straight across to the head wall, and I've been waiting on the ground to dry up so I could drive there. We could get this last bit of information.
So, and the highway department is planning on changing the one pipe on 11,000 or 1,100, and also investigating the one on 300
Both these
because it
pipes.
sure seems to be lower than necessary.
That one got put in a hole, remember, and it couldn't use all its capacity, that gentleman's been in, and it needed replaced for years. But I talked to David, and I think he's gonna wait till our project before he puts the pipes in. It'd be nice to see what our new cut is. There's gonna be about 3 feet of cut towards the end and at least 2.5 feet on the other end.
Right.
About 3.
So do we
3.5
not
to
want
4
to
feet.
do anything with this until the project is completed?
I suggest holding off until we at least get the bids for this next big part.
So we've accepted his petition, we made it a matter of the record, so that was what he was interested in, to get the process started.
So that when we do find out, we can go ahead and set a date from the petition that he has set forth to us.
We'll probably write letters to some of those farmers and say, you know, once we get our quotes, the drainage board picks a contractor, and we'll have to talk to the contractor, make sure his price will still be the same in the fall, but I'm just sure they're not gonna want us to track over their crops, but you can't work in a swamp, so that swamp on the south side means that last property is all gotta be worked on the farm side.
If the farmer were to cooperate, they may allow us to go in there knowing that it's gonna benefit their field. But until we have that conversation, we can't project that with a dollar amount.
Yeah. But, these farmers, you know those farmers? To me, we get it done when we get it done.
That's normally how they feel, that's how the Turners are.
Inyart knows a lot of the landowners up there and gets along with them, whereas if we send someone like Redmond, they're not gonna be received as well as Inyart. I mean, as far as just asking for permission to go across property would not be.
Cause
an
he's done a
easement.
lot of their work before, in your guys.
He has a working history with them. But
But I bet a lot of them, if you talk to them, they'd say, do it while you're there.
you just have to make the contacts and ask, and
So when ditching used to work, you work,
Yeah,
you do it in the ditch.
Yeah,
and
there, get it
So
done.
we've received the petition, and we'll probably bring this back up once we get the final quotes. Okay.
Raymond's working on, about got that letter ready for quotes.
I told Stoller too, if we get to the point and there's still 25 grand left in the fund, we suspend the maintenance for a year or two and then restart it. 'Cause, I mean, he didn't like the idea of a big chunk of money sitting in the maintenance fund, just sitting there. So, and I,
Well, the ditch has a history of slide-ins along 400,
yeah,
because it's a real deep cut. That's where it always needs it. See where it runs right along the road there? That goes through a pretty good hill.
I mean, there's 17,000 feet of ditch.
I did this as a reconstruction about 84 through Joe Warner. It was dipped out then.
All right, so we don't have to take any action on that, we just have acknowledged it in our records.
All right.
All right, anything else?
Then the email about the tile out in northwest Marion,
Yes.
I've called that into Rick Sullivan to fix.
Okay, yeah, I sent an email that, we've been working from Raymond and Cindy, and he was satisfied that he was on the list. I let him know, so.
It was last season, I thought the city was gonna fix it, I didn't know it got like,
The city always takes care of stuff inside the city.
I called it in, Rick Sullivan's got it on his list. Huh? Oh, it's that old Crane Pond tile there by Justice School.
Comes south.
In
of
between
Kimberly.
Justice and
It's
I.
broke by the sidewalk, it's in back of those homes. Remember that?
I thought it did get taken care of.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah,
A season
I thought
ago.
it was taken care of.
Well, it could be another hole.
That's-
Because the city complained to Mark that it wasn't theirs, that they didn't wanna fix it, so that's about a week ago, wasn't it, Mark?
They were complaining, saying, no, we're not gonna do it.
Right.
Did you ever get anything straightened out on that one out
I just
there
got the word that came to me.
by the ethanol. On that
It would
pole
have been
deal.
us.
I just figured Pat was upset with me for something.
No, it sounds like somebody else is getting involved, so.
I don't know if it was Chuck, I don't know who it was.
I don't think so, because Chuck would have come to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, it's on our list. You know, that's a fund, it's a county fund, so.
Sure wasn't Grant.
I don't know, that could be tied into the storm sewer going down through there, I don't know, but at one time, you know, it kept going north.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name
Well,
of
you
that
know,
street
just
back
happy
there.
something's getting done, so.
I went out.
Then Kenny has another drainage question.
Over there on the Matthews tile, when the tornado come through Swayze,
Mm-hmm.
it took the roof off of part of John Deere and part of the school, the gym and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
They're styrofoam, and I probably wouldn't mess with the styrofoam, but there's sheets of steel roofing in that Matthews ditch, and where it goes under the railroad track there on Shaw's, I think he said 40 foot of a tree fell out of the top into the creek.
Really?
Raymond and I was it yesterday? He called that house. And the reason, you hate to get somebody in there with an excavator and all to go down through there. There's probably 7, 8, 10 pieces of steel down through there, but those banks are awful steep. And the only reason I thought about John's is because he's got 2 or 3 boys that runs along with the excavator and gets
Is
down
that
in the
John's
creek,
repair?
Yeah,
you know,
and they're tall, stout guys.
and
Young.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got a problem with it, but we might let him in there on time and materials.
Well, yeah, I would say time and materials, and it may be that we can actually get that reimbursed by FEMA because
That's what I was
of
getting at, that was
the
my next
disaster.
question.
Yeah,
How do we turn a bill into FEMA?
well, I'm gonna have to check with our EMA director and say this is just new information. I don't know if they've done any assessment on, we didn't even talk about county drains, we were talking about personal property damage, but this is a result of the
Yeah.
event and it's part of the disaster, so
Yeah.
I'll check in with FEMA, EMA, and they'll check in and see how we can or can't do that.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, it'd be nice if we could turn that into FEMA, but you can get the whole, they'll run into some pieces of styrofoam off the roof at the school,
Uh-huh.
about like this. Unfortunately, the best way is to put a guy in there in hip boots and just let him start going down.
Throwing it out, yeah.
And somebody throwing a rope to him and dragging it up on the bank, okay?
But yeah, that should qualify for, recovery funds.
You know, the guy you mentioned there on by the railroad track,
Yeah, Shaw?
that's, you know, he's got a crossing there and you can't really take an excavator across there. Now, we came through his yard on the west side, but I noticed he's planted a new row of pine trees right across the easement.
I've seen
And
that.
how you ever gonna be able to dredge that out without cutting them down? They're short now, but,
Get them now.
He
when they get
probably
very
won't
big.
be there.
yeah, I
But
know.
we want to do that, because he'd like to get out of there.
Well, I'm not
There's a lot
gonna
of-
worry about
There's a
it.
lot of maintenance on trees and stuff there.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
big maintenance.
But there's a tree, his neighbor's tree.
Tops.
The top of it fell over into the creek, so that's
Yeah,
probably gonna be a hand job, okay?
yeah, you just need a dump truck back there, there's a
Yeah.
couple young guys cutting it up, throwing it in a truck.
Yeah,
I hate to bring an
We can
excavator
take
on
that.
this property.
we can take some of that stuff over to the Swayze sewer plant, because they've hauled all that trees and brush back there, the steel, I don't know how we get rid of it, take it back there, I reckon, and somebody will haul it out, but
Well, even, somehow or another, if they can get it to the, recycle center, we take steel at the recycle center on Garthwaite. That might be an option for us, but.
Well, one time, some of that steel they was taking up there behind the lawn and garden, the town had the county had a recycling deal there, and they had a pile back there, but that's gone. But anyway, if they,
And nobody cared if the contractor took it.
Leave it up to Johns to get rid of it.
I mean, you know,
You might need to take it to New Lawn and
Yeah.
get a little money for it.
but there's, is that all right for Johns to come in there?
I don't have
That's
any
good,
reasons
Yeah.
to say no. I mean, we need to have that open and clear, so.
Yeah, we gotta get it before it washes down into the, but that's, he's the only one I know of, that guys that won't get down in the creek.
Yeah.
Kenny stayed on the railroad until they put a proper crossing back there. After all them years of working on them.
All right, I do have a note here from Ryan, and Ryan, did you want to update us on what was going on? It had to do with the Hummel Creek, didn't it?
Well, Jim had brought up McCoy.
Yes.
That had went through area plan with an unfavorable recommendation, and it was sent to the commissioners. The commissioners, at this point, still have it tabled. So commissioners haven't voted on the McCoy, rezoning yet. I just FYI.
Up off of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jim was gonna go look at it, and I think Steve was waiting to hear about what they found. But right now, it's tabled with the commissioners.
I've looked at it, it's not a good diagnosis, there's only 24 acres benefit. It's gonna cost a lot of money. It's a 1917 10-inch tile. They probably need to start out to put it on a high maintenance. And a lot of the homeowners are gonna object to it, from what they've told me. And then you could have if it needed redone completely, it would have to be bumped up in size. McCoy would have to pay he's gonna have pavement, he's gonna have 2 large roofs. It's all running off on the neighbor, there could be a veritable assessment on it. An engineer, in my opinion, would have to be hired to put it in, design something new. When the electric property that we're outletted down there where we found a break, I mentioned to Mr. McCoy that maybe he could work with them and the drainage board and get a licensed bonded contractor and go down there and open it up and investigate whether the tile's savable or a shot. And he didn't feel like that's his expense, that he should do that expense. Well, he's the only one in the neighborhood wanting to make business, wanting to make money out there, so it's in his ball court but there's no funds that the county can just go out there and make this tile work for everybody without their ditch tax. So I'll send him some information, and
It's to his benefit right now.
if all the neighbors fight it, he's back to square one. He's got property, all those properties do not drain well. There's a clump of trees growed right over the outlet, and I suspect that's where it's plugged at. And I mentioned to him, about getting a contractor, and he didn't feel like that's something he wanted to look into, so.
All right, so I guess that's still gonna come before the commissioners one of these days.
Yeah, I think, Steve had tabled it, waiting to hear from Jim. I think that's where we were at.
Well, I kinda thought he'd be at the drainage board meeting, so.
Yeah.
Thanks for that update.
Yep.
All right, other business, gentlemen.
I'll bring Steve up to date. Kenny asked about the Cart Creek tile there by the racing ethanol, across from the ethanol plant, the racing fuel. There's a break right underneath the fence, right by the power pole. Cook had an estimate of like $11,000 to replace it, the length of bring it out from the fence and replace it 395 feet. I asked Wendell Cates to take a look at it. Mitch also wanted to know, can it be downsized? And without talking to Wendell, I didn't think it could be downsized because it drains both sides of the state highway right away, and that one field sheds off to it there along the road. And after I talked to Wendell, because he's got an interest out there, he was gonna look at it.
You don't want downside.
And yeah, he agreed with me as soon as I mentioned that, don't downsize. I didn't want to be responsible party and downsize it, and then the water fills up along State Road 18, you need a licensed engineer for that anyway. Needs to stay at 15. There is some utilities there that would have to be washed off. He probably contracted with Bragg Excavating to do that. But, I just didn't have a well enough estimate to say, yeah, okay, $11,000, replace it 395 feet, get it to the edge of the ethanol plant. I was kinda wanting to see what Wendell thought, and he was gonna get back with me, but that's been a couple weeks ago.
So we're still waiting on Carter.
Yeah, Wendell said he might be willing to work on it. The pole's been, they've got the pole stabilized, the hole hadn't worked into the pole yet, you know. But I asked Mitch if he could just cut the fence and fix this, and the utilities, they wanted to bring in something and hold the pole up in the air while he's working on it, and he didn't want to do that, so. It's been over a year, it's just been hanging. So.
All right, other business?
Wendell said he'd be interested in fixing it in the fall. But, you know, 395 feet, I think he said $11,000.
The money in that fund, to spend that kind of money?
Yeah, we spent $9,000 and fixed Wendell up with his last problem. But, you know, a lot of it is, Wendell has an invested interest out there. I don't want to spend his money without talking to him.
Well, that was up there on the north end of that ditch. They had to go under that gas line,
Right, right.
but they had to,
That helped everybody though, it helped everybody.
yeah, but they had to have Fratco make a Y
Mm-hmm.
and run two 24s or something under that
Right.
ditch.
They'd like to have a 36 out there someday.
Yeah, but Fratco made them
Mm-hmm.
a deal so that they could run two 24s underneath the tile.
That was why it was so expensive to get under that gas line.
Yeah. But they got along halfway decent.
But you might mention it to Wendell that we're still waiting for his advice on what to do. If he wants Cook to fix it and thinks that's okay price, but you know, we gotta put the size that's there in.
Any other business?
He don't have time to fix it.
Move adjourned.
Johnson motion is in effect for Mr. Cox, second Mr. Pinkerton. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nobody's opposed to that.
We're gonna have some big bills. Well, I did want to mention to you guys, I got an erosion spot on my property, and one on a curve on Taylor Creek, and then one where the water jumps out and rushes back in. It's creating a gouge from the neighbor's field, and I got Eric Bragg coming to fix it.
Water clear around.
I don't know what the cost is gonna be, but the Taylor Creek has good funds in it, but if you guys wanted me to take a
I don't know,
picture for you, I would.
I just saw the water.
I'd like to get a picture of it, but, and I told Eric to wait till he gets all the farmers done, cause mine's in the grass. And it's got a grass lane to it, but it's gotta be dry or his equipment all sinks, cause I need riprap back there in two spots.
I just
Yeah,
need
it's
to
the
make sure
first
bring in the
Okay,
request.
it's washed out maybe 20 feet,
Because I
maybe 10 feet wide.
I think it was doing that last year, and we said,
Oh.
and I talked to Chad. Like he
I don't wanna surprise you guys at work on this.
So we need to turn that recording off. You know how to hit the,
Yeah, I don't want the mosquitoes.
yeah, if you just hit that stop button, we'll be in good
I don't
shape.
want the mosquitoes. You get them too, there, that close.
Friday, we got done out
That'll
to
hurt
youth.
your stuff.
So did they change your mind and they're going solar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I turned off the recording.
We got back
Is
to
it not
work,
off?
it's one of my necks.
Stop recording, yeah.
Some mark.